Hello, I'm joined with Linda from She Knows Health and Safety, and we're just going to be talking now about if we're coming to buy or rent a new property. Okay, Linda, I've got my business, it's doing rather well, so now I want to go either to rent one or buy a new property. Before I do that, before I enter into sign on the dotted line, what things do you think are important to make sure that I've got before I make that step from a health and safety point of view?
From a health and safety point of view, things that you need to be checking on will cost you money if it's not right. We've mentioned asbestos.
Yeah.
We've talked about electrics, both hard wiring and things that have been provided.
Yeah.
What about ventilation systems, air conditioning? Have they been tested? Are they up to date? Even just your boilers, your electric, your gas. You know, are they all tested and actually suitable for the job? They're not going to be popping out fumes and, you know, giving people poisoning.
So there's a safe certificate, obviously, that I need for the heating. I didn't think about that, but yeah, you do. Air conditioning then, does that need a certificate as well?
It needs to be checked over and serviced regularly because, you know, have you heard of Legionella?
Yeah.
You know, so if there's emissions that's been spat out the side of the building through exhaust fumes and things, are they actually been extracted? Are they contaminated from your air conditioning units? Well, if you've got any showers, sometimes some buildings have their shower systems put in because you're a sports facility, or, you know, it's just part of what they provide. You know, Legionella just breed in water droplets.
Yeah.
So any form of airborne water, then that's where they're putting people at risk.
So that's the four main things you should be looking for then?
Yeah. It's unlikely that the guys watching this are going to be considering buildings which have got lift systems in, because obviously lifts are lifting equipment, they've got to be tested. But another key one is things like roller shutter doors. That is a piece of lifting equipment.
Yeah.
You know, up and down, what stops it from coming down while you're bending down and locking your door. So they should be serviced, you know, the chains lubricated and things, just to make sure that we're not going to cause anybody any harm.
What about gates then, Linda, if you've got premises with electric gates?
There's been a few things in the paper last year where we've had gates have been strong enough to crush somebody.
Right.
Because they're on a system to shut, and if something's in the way, whether it be your car or yourself, your foot, you can seriously injure people. It's a bit like a piece of, you know, a forklift truck or a car. If people don't know what's happening, we can end up with an injury.
There's usually a safety thing on that, though,
there should be, yeah. And again,
right.
That's why we rely on our electricians and our people installing it to make sure that they're put right. The HSE always advises looking at risk assessments, and we would look at something like the gate systems or moving equipment to see how is it possible that we could injure somebody, and if it is, what are we doing to stop it from happening?
Yeah.
You know, have a go. If you've got a gate there, go and get your melon, put the melon there and try shutting the gate, and what happens?
Yeah.
That'll really show your staff that something needs to be done. You know, and they'll follow the rules. If it's you have to do this before you do that, you know, you write it down, you make sure they understand what has to be done in what order. And if you show them something like the squashed melon, that could be the foot, that could be the head. They're more likely to take, you know, notice of what you're preaching. It's not safety for safety's sake.
Thank you, Linda.